Hello everybody, very good to see you all again, even though of course I cannot actually see you. Welcome back to my second episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program and try not to get all the Kerbals in a explosive grave and everything. So, what were we doing in the last episode? We were trying to fit an engine to our polar exploration device, which kind of worked, but didn't. So, as you can see, I've changed quite a lot of things already. I've made it longer. I've added an extra fuel tank right here in the back. As a result of that, I was able to get the wheelbase a little bit more stable. Now you see that our vehicle is quite low on the ground, which I'm not too happy about because it gives us very little wiggle room for if we actually land on the moon, but it's quite stable. On the moon? That's to say land on the moon. I mean the North Pole, because that is where we're going, and it has absolutely nothing to do with it being extremely hot where I live. I am melting into my chair. I'm about to become a puddle of YouTuber. Yeah, that's right. As you can also see, I have mounted a single radio mount liquid engine, radio engine even, a single one on the top of the vehicle, because that kind of works. It gives us the control we need to get the vehicle forward, but it doesn't overdo it. And I can show you right this. If I turn the engine on and just give it a little bit of willy, and it doesn't really want to do it. There's only one problem, because for some reason if you load a vehicle in Kerbal Space Program and put it on the runway, the front wheels lock. Now that might also have something to do with the fact that I've put them on backwards. I don't know if that is a problem. If any of you guys know, let me know, because it is a thing that's been bugging me. But if I can just get it to then cut the engine, and yeah, there we go. Okay, now you can see that if I can give it a tiny amount of willy and we'll still continue to go forward. So that is a good thing. I think we have finally found an engine configuration that lets us easily get around on the North Pole, once we get there, of course. And it also kind of lets us steer the vehicle. Now I just want to do a single test and see how fast this thing can go. So let's get it up to speed a little. We're at about 40 meters per second now. Let's ramp it up a little. Ooh, she's getting out of hand, Captain. Oh no! Oh, okay. That's about 58. Say it was 55, because we started turning really closely. Okay, so about 55 meters a second it is. Let's end this mission and go back to the spaceplane hangar, because I've been thinking about a way of getting to the pole. Now, I've looked at YouTube and guides, and there's basically two ways that you can do it. The first way is kind of building a big airplane out of your lander, so adding wings and everything, and adding enough fuel tanks and bits and bobs on the side, and basically staying inside of the atmosphere and flying to the North Pole. Now, I've seen people do that. It was kind of boring because it took a hell of a long time. It takes about 1.5 or 2 hours to get to the North Pole that way, and that's just way too long for me. It is very hot out here. I need to get to the North Pole right now. So luckily there's another way. There's actually a way to get into orbit with one of these things. And with orbit, I mean about 100 kilometers to 150 kilometers up into the atmosphere. And then turn north and just give it full throttle and just see what the orbit prediction thingy does. So basically what you'll do is you'll make an orbit straight over the top of the planet, and then when you're over the North Pole, you brake and try and get down safely. So I think that is what we'll do. We'll just put this thing up vertically, if we can, and just see if we can get it up into the air and then over to the North Pole. That is our main goal. And then how we land there is another question, because what we could do is put a whole lot of parachutes on here, and once we are over the North Pole, just cut all the engines, jettison the engines, and just activate the parachutes and watch this thing float down. Now, while that is a very safe way of doing it, it is not a very controllable way, because you are entirely at the mercy of your parachutes. So what I'm going to try and do is make a sort of glider thing. We are going over to the North Pole. No, first we are going up into orbit. Once we are in orbit, we'll make sure that we will get over the pole, over the North Pole. Once we are over the pole, we will cut all engines, throw everything away, get down to a reasonable altitude, and try and glide down. So we'll land like a normal airplane, nothing to do with parachutes. Maybe a couple right on the back here, so we could, use them as sort of air brakes. I don't know yet. We'll see. But first, we need to find out a configuration that will actually let us fly this thing, because it needs to be fly-worthy. What's the word there I'm looking for? It needs to be flyable if we're going to land it. So I'm just going to take a look at here, and I think there's a couple of control panels here and everything. Is this with this? What's this? Is this going to work? I don't know. It looks fancy. Looks more like a park bench to me. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to be enough. Damn it. Go on. Think. We have a delta. Ooh. This delta wing has a lift rating of 1.9. That seems good. Let's put 2 of them on there. Let's put them a little bit. Ooh. Oh, that's funky. Yeah, let's put them right there. So that's 2 of them. Ah, man, I just realized I'm building a normal-ish space shuttle. Well, I think there's a reason they were built like that, because it works, and we want to get to the North Pole. We want to get our Kerbals to the North Pole. God damn it! Let's put 2 of these on just to give it this kind of Delta Flyer thing. And we also want to be able to control it, so let's put a standard control surface on both these things. There we go. That is starting to look like a decent lander. Now all we need, I'm hoping that I can test this by just putting an engine on this, and I'm gonna see what it does. I actually want to get rid of this for a while. I just want to know if this is able to fly. So what I actually want to do is put some more in the nose here, so got a little bit more control there. And let's just go ahead and see what this does. We're gonna save this. Oh, by the way, I got a great suggestion in the comments section in my last video. Somebody actually came up with a good name for my vehicle. It was called the Explorinator. So we'll call this the Explorinator 1. We'll save it, and this thing is going to explorinate the hell out of the North Pole on Kerbal. But let's see if we can actually get this thing up in the air, because that will mean it is flyable, and we can continue our research and our developments of the lander. Because of course, if we can fly this, we can get it up in the air, we can land it safely as well. So we'll put the engines on full. Oh, SAS is not needed because we don't have it, and we're just gonna see what happens. So we'll give it some power. Then when we get about 200, we'll see if we we can get. Oh, it's looking good. I'm actually gonna. Okay, let's see now. Wow, this is actually way better than I expected. I kind of expected everything to explode like I normally do in Kerbal Space Program, but this is actually looking good. Now, oh god, oh, that is not looking good. Okay, yeah, that is where this is kind of more what I have come to expect from Kerbal Space Program, but that's okay. We're upright again. I'm going to try and cut the engines, get out the gear, and see if we can land this thing. Now, I'm purposefully not going to land on the runway, because of course once we are above the North Pole there is not going to be a runway there, so I'm going to have to see if I can land this thing on rough terrain. Now, we're coming down quite smoothly actually. We are fairly straight, I have to say. So let's just see what we can do here. That might be a bit too slow. We have some fuel left, so if things go awry we can always throttle back up again and get back up the air. Oh, careful now. Okay. 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 Careful now. I'm going to try and land as horizontally as I can as to not damage the engine. Yes. Go down. Go down. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. What went wrong there? I think we were going sideways a little. I think that was the problem. I kind of want to try it again, but I think we need some more vertical thing. What do you call them? I'll show you guys what I mean. What I mean is we need to put one of... If I can actually find the part, that will be great. Yes. No. Yes. That's it. I'm going to put one of these on. This is a great part. I love this part. And we'll also put a small control surface on it. So this will actually give us... Well, that's not right. Screw that up. Have I? Yeah. Yeah, like that. So that will give us actually some more, well, horizontal control, really. So let's try that again. Save the Explorinator. Go back to the launch pad, because I really want to see if I can actually launch this thing. Well, not launch it, but land it. I want to be able to land it smoothly. So we'll wait for things to settle down here. And of course, McCrick, Joan Art, and Billy Bobney, which is a great name by the way, are all scared of hell because last time they crashed down somewhere over there. So we'll go to some wheelie again. Get some full power, and then we're about 50, 70-ish. We'll see if we can get up in the air. Track the gear, and then go down to... No, let's keep it a little bit higher now. 2/3 of throttle. And let's see if we can... Yeah. I'm going to see, because... Oh, man, this thing runs through fuel like I run through Jaffa cakes. It is unbelievable. Okay, so we are fairly straight now. I'm going to cut engines. Extend the gear. Going down quite fast, but I want this test to be over quite soon. So let's see what we can do here. Now, what I'm thinking of this right now, and I will be better if I thought this through a little better. Put on parachutes in the back so we can kind of air brake. But I guess it's not needed because we are going quite slow. And this is a good sign because this means that this thing is great at gliding. And as you can see, we are gliding down quite smoothly. I'm just tapping S here to keep us at this gliding angle. I don't want to come down too hard. And there we go. Now, I'm tapping B. So this is kind of an anti-lock braking system because I don't want to brake and have everything flip over, but I can actually do that. So I would call this design quite successful at flying on its own. The only downside to it, I guess, is that it doesn't have a whole lot of fuel if we use this engine too much. So what we could also do is end the flight, go back to the spaceplane hangar, and I kind of want to have a solution for that. So that would mean that once we've landed, we can throw away this engine and just use a smaller engine. So this would then suffice, because this would give us enough power, I think, to propel us forward, and we wouldn't need something up here that enhances the risk of tipping over. So I think this is a pretty good design. Now, all we need to do now is make sure that this goes up into the air, and therefore we are going to need quite a few more rockets, I guess. So what I think we'll do is, because we have now saved space on the top of the Explorinator, we can both put them underneath and on top as to get the whole thing balanced. I think that will be a good decision, yeah. What we could also do is try a configuration where we have, like, let's see if that works. Actually, I'll put some, yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's put some radial decouplers on the sides here, and let's put a fuel tanks there. So I need to attach you there. Yeah. Oh, that works. Okay. Now if we build the fuel tanks like this, just get on there. Yeah. There we go. And we build it up a little. Now remember, this is going to be the stage that is going to get us... What is this? What is this not working? What is this not? Come on. This could be the stage that actually gets us into the orbit. So not into space, but into orbit. So what we'll do with this, we'll put our... Let's see what we have here. Yeah, we'll put 2 liquid fuel engines on here. Why is it not symmetry? Okay, doesn't matter. We'll do it like this. Now, remember, this might look like a silly design, but this configuration will only come into play once we are already into orbit, so we're floating. So then this propels us into towards the North Pole, basically. So underneath this, I really want to get, like, let's see, some tri-couplers. Yeah, that looks good. And then this, underneath this, will be the stage that actually gets us into space. So the whole thing will be like this. And I'm not going to be sure if this is going to work. But we'll see. This is Kerbal Space Program, and you sometimes have to take risks. So let's see if we can actually do this. We are not allowed to, for some reason. Let's not put on symmetry. I really want to get... Yeah, there we go. Looks like we're going to have to do this one at a time, but that's not a problem because I have time enough. Because it is too freaking hot to go outside today. Fortunately, or should I say unfortunately, I don't know whether to be sad or happy about this. Some people are sad about this. This is... The weather service here is reporting that this will probably be one of the last days of the year that is going to be like above 20 degrees Celsius outside. So that kind of makes me happy because I don't like it when it's sweaty warm outside. But at the same time it makes me kind of sad because, you know, nice weather is good and it's always nice to go outside, especially where I live. I live in a beautiful place. I can't do this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that might be a good start. Let's place some engines. And we are going with the liquid fuel engine, which is which hasn't got thrust vectoring. So let's hope this will work. So this would be the basic layout of our rocket. And I hope this is enough to get us into space. Now, I'm also noticing that I've forgotten something. I have forgotten to put on decouplers on the engines. And you kind of need those if you want to decouple your engines. Which is exactly what we want to do once we get into space. So let's put that back on. Let's put that back on. Okay, this kind of looks good. Now let's tie it all together with a few struts. I think the first thing that we want to do is attach this side to the lander so that it stays kind of on there. I think we're going to do another one and then on that side. So that looks, well, fairly reasonable. I'm going to do one more just to be sure. I love struts. They give you so much security. Yep, there we go. Now, what I also want to do is make a little cross out of it. So we'll put one here, and then put the other one right there. Yellow. Why am I not able to do that? Is it too far away? I guess it's too far away. Can we do it somewhere? Nope. Ah. I was really looking forward to that. Ah, well, it doesn't mind. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We could also... I'm all confused now. This is confusing me. I don't like it. Control Z this to... This needs to go away. Come on. Swam. Alright. Well... What is happening? Yes, I know I can do that, but I don't want to do that. Get off. Get out. Yeah, there we go. I fixed it. I fixed it. Okay. So let's put another two fuel tanks on here and another engine. So that's looking good, except that we need another decoupler on there. I keep forgetting this. Decoupler on there, and then this goes here. That's it. Okay, that looks a lot better. Now, let's start doing a few more of these things. So we want to basically turn symmetry on and put this on here. And why is symmetry not working? Don't know. Guessing because it's too far away, and now that is working and that isn't working. That's okay. You know what? I'm just going to go with this. We are going to test this. So what I'm going to do is put this up straight. Ooh, that's okay. That is a problem. I can't actually zoom out enough to... Oh, there we go. Almost. I can't zoom out. Oh, there we go. Okay, put it there. I'm happy with that. Okay. So, let's see. The first thing that's going to fire is these engines, which is good. Then this decouples, and this engine is going to fire, and these two engines are going to fire. We've done that. We can decouple that and those two, and then we have this one.